Hi, my my name is Josephine Shrabeko, and this is my ICT presentation. The first question I was asked was to state what ICT is, to explain what ICT is. And breaking it down, we realize that ICT is an abbreviation for information, communication, and technology. Information deals with knowledge obtained from investigation, study, or instruction. In ICT terms, information is a group of data that collectively carries a logical meaning. Communication, the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. In ICT terms, communication is a process in which two or more computers or devices transfer data, instructions, and information. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. It can also be the branch of knowledge dealing with engineering or applied sciences. In ICT terms, its technology is inventions related to or associated with computers and devices with a central processing unit, such as the hardware and software of computers, the internet, and storage devices. Collectively, ICT is a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to transmit, store, create, or exchange information. The second question I was asked was to state 5 areas where ICT can be applied. Education. Devices like projectors make the teaching and learning process one to enjoy. It makes the presentation of information fun and interesting for students. This allows the students to easily capture whatever is being taught. 2. Devices like sprinklers make the irrigation of plants easier and faster and stress-free as well. 3. Medicine. Devices like the computed tomography scan, CT scan, makes a doctor's work easy by providing the view of the patient's internal parts without necessarily cutting them open. Banking. ICT enables banks to offer better customer services through automated teller machines, ATMs, internet banking, phone banking, and 24-hour services. Transportation. Vehicles like trains and cars make the movement from one place to another easier and faster. The question 3 was what I want to be in future. And I would like to be a lawyer in future. As a lawyer, my job would be to provide legal counsel to victims of human rights violation, regardless of membership in a professional association. The B part of the question 3 was to name 2 personalities in my future aspiration, one African and one foreigner. My African personality is Ghana's first female lawyer, Essie Matilda Foster. Essie Matilda Foster was born on 12th September 1922 in Sekondi, the Gold Coast, now modern-day Ghana, to George James Foster and Abalusi French. Her father, who was originally from Dominica in the Eastern Caribbean, settled in Sekondi, Takoradi in 1902. He had attended the first Pan-African Congress in London in 1900 and regarded himself as a returned exile. Her mother was from Shama in the western region of the Gold Coast. Essie's father, George James Christian, was a private legal practitioner, a politician, and a businessman. He represented the Western Province of the Gold Coast as an elected member of the Legislative Council for 10 years, from 1930 to 1940. At the age of 5, Essie was sent to England for her education. Essie made her intentions of pursuing law known to her parents by January 1940. Like her father, she qualified as a barrister at law and was called to the English bar at Gray's Inn, London, in November 1945. She was called to the Gold Coast Bar on 15th April 1947, making her the first female lawyer on the Gold Coast and the third female lawyer in the British West Africa. The first African female lawyer was Stella Thomas, who was appointed stipendiary magistrate in Lagos, Nigeria. Frances Wright from Sierra Leone, who also attended Gray's Inn, was the second female lawyer. And in that same year, Essie was also called to the Gambian bar, where she practiced law from 1947 to 1951. Essie was also a wife and a mother. On 17 December 1944, she married Professor Edward Francis Bani Foster, a psychiatrist from the Gambia. They had 3 children, Banky Foster, Echo Foster, and Estelle Mathilda Appiah. Essie moved to the Gold Coast from the Gambia in July 1951 when her husband took up service in the colonial administration as the first African psychiatrist in the mental hospital in Accra. She was the acting registrar of companies, births and deaths in Accra for 6 months. She also worked as the legal advisor to Mobil Oil Ghana Limited from 1957 to 1982. At Mobil Oil, Essie's services were so valued by the company that she was asked to determine her salary when she was engaged. Her appointment as a corporate legal advisor set a precedent in Ghana, allowing all large corporations in the country to retain lawyers on their staff. She served in the capacity for over 25 years. Essie followed in her father's footsteps by engaging in many professional and public service activities. She was also a founding member of the Ghana International School Committee from 1954 to 1959. Within that same period, she was also a member of the Accra Magisterial District Prohibition Committee. She was a founding member and president of the Ghana branch of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, and the Inner Wheel Club of Accra. As a member of FIDA Ghana, she made recommendations to the Ghana Law Reform Commission on interstate succession, widowhood rights, maintenance of children, and abortion. These were novel areas of law in the best interest of women and children. She also served in the following organization in various roles: Young Women's Christian Association, where she served as the vice president and secretary of the Young Women's Christian Association Hostel Committee; Rich Church Sunday School as secretary from 1968 to 1980. She was the chairperson of the Nurses and Midwives Accra Schools Board of Governors from 1969 to 1972. President of Ghana Girls Guides and substitute of the Constitution Committee of the World Association of Girls Guides and Girl Scouts from 1972 to 1975. Essie considered these professional and voluntary public service activities as an essential to a full and interesting life. After her retirement, she led a quiet life and was known to be one who loved to walk. All who knew Essie knew her to be a wise woman with a memorable laugh. Essie was described as fiercely independent, and even in her old age, she was still independent. People believe that her independence could have contributed to her untimely death in 1998, when she was fatally knocked down by a motorcyclist in Accra. She died at the age of 75. My foreign personality is African American Jane Bolin. Jane Bolin was the first Black woman to become a judge in the United States. Bolin, at the age of 31, was appointed to the New York City Domestic Relations Court by Mayor LaGuardia in 1939. Jane Bolin's passion for advocacy and social justice emerged early on during her childhood. Bolin was born in Poughkeepsie, New York, to Gaius C. Bolin, who was a renowned Black lawyer, and Matilda Ingram Emery, who was an immigrant from Britain. Growing up, Bolin was fascinated to be around her father's law office, surrounded by his leather-bound books. In 1924, Bolin attended the Wesley College, a women's college in Massachusetts. She was one of only 2 Black students in her class. Bolin graduated from Wesley College as a Wesley Scholar in 1928. When Bolin considered applying to Yale Law School, she was discouraged by a career advisor at Wesley due to her race and gender, which was one of the many instances of discrimination she experienced during her time at Wesley. Regardless, she persisted and she attained a Juris Doctorate degree from Yale Law School in 1931. She was one of 3 women in her class. Bolin was also the first Black woman to earn a law degree from Yale, breaking another glass ceiling at the age of 23. Later, Bolin started working at the New York City Corporation Counsel's office. She was the first Black woman to work as the New York City Assistant Corporate Counsel. In 1936, she also ran for the New York State Assembly, but she encountered defeat from an opposite party Democrat candidate. On 22nd of July 1939, Jane Bolin was sworn in as a judge of the New York City Domestic Relations Court, known as a family court, since 1962, becoming the first Black female judge in the United States. She devoted her career to fighting for children's rights, taking cases related to juvenile delinquency, child abuse and segregation, wives and children who were in dire need of assistance, adoption, and child welfare. Bolin defended justice and equality for women and children from the bench of New York's family court for 4 decades. Bolin made many substantial changes to ensure that children of color could receive necessary public funds. She also worked alongside the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, to decrease juvenile crimes among young boys, supporting the Wiltwick School. During her tenure as judge, Bolin achieved 2 legal landmarks. She eliminated the assignment of probation of officers based on ethnicity, and she mandatorily made private child care agencies, which ran on public funds, to help children regardless of their background. Jane Bolin retired at the age of 70 in 1978. Beyond the courtroom, Jane Bolin was also the board of the National Urban League, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and the Child Welfare League. For her groundbreaking work, Judge Bolin received honorary degrees from different institutions across the country, including Williams College, where her father was the first Black graduate. After a renowned legal career as a judge and activist, Bolin, at the age of 98, passed away on January the 8th, 2007 in Queens, New York. Judge Jane Bolin has been an icon of hope and empowered women and children throughout her life. This is my ICT presentation. Have a lovely Independence Day.